You're going to Disney World, but you've got diabetes. Well, I've got a few tips for you to have a safe and fun trip coming up next. Hey there, this is Jones with One Stop Mouse, your one-stop source of how-to Disney World information. So, you've got diabetes like I do, type 1, and you're going on a Disney World trip, and you may have heard a little bit online or from friends or elsewhere that going to Disney World can sometimes be quite a test of physical endurance. Whether you've got health issues like diabetes or none, or you're a marathon runner. And that is true, trust me. So if you're watching this video because you are concerned about being prepared, good thinking. Let's talk about it. Believe it or not, going to Disney World for people without any kind of health condition can be quite a test of endurance, no matter what kind of shape you're in. You're basically, many times, getting up and running out to parks and restaurants practically at dawn, and then going until 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and then repeating that cycle. And a lot of people will go for 6-7 days or more, so you see how that gets. And in the process of it, during a large part of the year in the Orlando area, you've got 100-degree heat, extreme humidity, a lot of rain. You've got very, very tempting foods. Look at the last video that I did of the Wilderness Lodge, and as I was doing the video, I took some more appropriate foods to eat, but I was passing a pastry case at the Roaring Fork quick service area in the back of the Wilderness Lodge, and I saw this pastry, and there I am right on video, and I'm eating it, being a naughty diabetic. And my blood sugar did pump itself through the roof. I had like a 354 blood sugar, and I was sitting around trying not to be woozy so I could drive home safe. So that happens all the time. One of the things you've got to be careful of is some of the meal plans too, because you prepay for the meals, and then you feel like you've got to eat your money's worth. So be careful of the deluxe dining plan and being a diabetic, trust me, because it's appetizers and the entrees and the desserts, and of course, alcoholic beverages are included, and you know, those are more expensive than everything else, so you might as well go for the gold. There's a lot of things to take into account. So, enough of that babble. Let's go down this list of things that I think are good tips. All right, before I go down this list of tips for diabetics going to Disney World, some of you are diabetics that were diagnosed like 25 years ago, like myself. Some of you are new to all of this. Some of you are mild type 2s. Some of you are more brittle type 1s. Obviously, there's a whole spectrum to this. You can definitely take these tips across the board, except for maybe 1 or 2 of them for anyone, even if you're not diabetic. So it'll apply for somebody who's mild type 2 all the way to brittle type 1. Number 1. Have an easy-to-see medical ID bracelet. I know a lot of people have some real cool designer types that look just like jewelry, but they look just like jewelry, and you don't want people to not be able to see it. Realize that if somebody's calling an ambulance or something, you know, they're not a trained professional, they're not a paramedic or something, so they're being asked if there's any kind of ID bracelet or something, and all they see is jewelry, they're not gonna know. If I'm lying there and there's this bright orange bracelet on my arm, somebody is more apt to say, hey, what's that? Oh, look, this is his name. Here's his emergency contact. He's got type 1 diabetes. It's a good idea. I will put links down below to 2 of the companies that I have dealt with in getting those sort of bright colored emergency ID bracelets. Number 2, be aware before you even go of where the first aid stations are. There are first aid stations at all of the parks: Animal Kingdom, Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and you just look at the map on your My Disney Experience app and you can see right where they are. Hello.
Hello, sir. How can I help you?
I'm a vlogger doing a piece on how diabetics might want to make sure they know where the first aid station is when they go to a park.
Okay.
And so here we are. We're at Hollywood Studios. I'm diabetic, type 1 as a matter of fact. So I'm personally getting more and more interested in it. So,
there you go.
But I've never been in here before.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
All of us here are registered nurses. We don't have a physician on site.
She's basically telling me that diabetics can store insulin here if they're worried in the 100-degree heat of it not cooking out there. I've got one of those little Frio evaporative cooler things that you put it in, but I don't know. When it's like 110 heat index, I have my doubts that it's okay in my pocket.
Yeah.
So I could come in when I enter the park. You would put it in the fridge for me, and then when I need it, I basically just come, give myself an injection, and then is this open for as late as the park is open?
We are open 30 minutes before the park opens, and we close 30 minutes after the park closes. So
Okay.
we're here the whole time.
So you're here the whole time. Terrific.
It may not be the same person, but somebody's here all the time.
Terrific. Thank you very much. Number 3. This is a very, 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 let me say very again, very good idea for anyone going there most of the year, whether you're diabetic or not. Drink water, drink water, drink water, and then drink some more water. Then pour some water on top of you, and then grab your friend's water and drink their water. You have to stay hydrated. If you've been a diabetic for any period of time, you know as well as I do that one of the best things for a diabetic to do is to just drink a lot of water. If there's nothing else, I mean, it doesn't cost money. You don't have to go to a doctor to get diagnosed. It is very, very helpful. And I've seen a lot of people hit the ground with heat exhaustion, stuff like that. It's even more important for you as a diabetic to stay hydrated. If I were you, I would keep water on me at all times. I would buy one of these electrolyte replacement things to put in the water, and I'll put a link to that down below as well. And it's real easy to do in the parks right now. You have no excuse to not do this. You have to take care of yourself here. I sound like your dad, right? You have to take care of yourself. I have to take care of we both have to take care of ourselves. All of the quick service restaurants at Disney now will give you free cups of water. And you walk into any of the resorts and they've got these big jug things of ice water with different herbs and cucumbers and stuff in them. That's the thing, trying to keep people hydrated and happy. And you can do it. You also could go and buy a $3.50 bottle of Dasani every time you hit somewhere else and spend $50 in water, and don't make that your excuse for not drinking water, okay? If you're prepped, you would have probably what I like those big aluminum type bottles. Be careful, some of the bottles in Disney are actually made out of glass. You want plastic or aluminum, and I basically keep filling that up all through the day. When I can, like when I'm in one of the resorts, I just fill it up with ice and it melts almost right away. But they give free cups of water at all the quick service restaurants. You can just pour into those bottles of yours, fill them up, or simply just buy a $3.50 bottle of water and keep filling it up either with the cups of water from the quick service places during the day or at many of the water fountains. So you can do it for a small amount of money, if not any amount of money. But you really got to stay on top of that. And the thing is, the reason I'm going down this preaching list of how to take care of yourself is people get so caught up in the fun. I saw a woman going into Disney just recently, and she started off bawling her eyes out because she had been wanting to go there her whole life. She was from Britain. And she was so excited the whole day. You know, that excitement kind of overruns your common sense, and you don't want to do that. And you know what? You don't have to be some guy in his 50s like me. You could be a 16-year-old and still get heat exhaustion, so be careful. Did I say drink water? Drink water. Oh yeah, drink water. Psst. Drink water. Okay, so we're here at Hollywood Studios, and we are going to walk up to one of the quick serve restaurants like Dockside Diner here and see if we can get them to give us some water. Here it is right here. Excuse me. I'm trying to get some of this. See, there's a thing right here. Oops. There's a thing right here. Sorry, thanks. So here we are at Dockside Diner. Somebody was standing in front of the water canister, but there was a big canister with ice water and cups just to help yourself right there. So as I said, you got no excuse to not drink a lot of water. On that note, I carry around a big bottle like this in the side pocket of my backpack. I showed you how you can walk right up to the quick service restaurants to get a cup of water. You can either get this, which is really cold, preferable, keep refilling your bottle after you drink your fill, or if you want, you can go to the water fountains and just keep filling up your bottle. Number 4, test often? I would. I sound like the guy in the dinosaur ride. Flash photography? I wouldn't. With everything going on, with the stress of having fun, actually, with the stress of family drama, with the stress of trying to pump out every drop of fun for this huge amount of money that you're spending to go to Disney World for 7 days. And there are a lot of dads that walk around right now with shirts that say most expensive day ever. And, you know, that's it. And they're trying to be the Brady Bunch. You know, they're trying to be the perfect family and have the perfect fun time. You know, most magic. If you can't have fun in the most magical place on earth, there's got to be something wrong with you. You've got to have fun. You know, there is some pressure there. Test often. And actually, if you do that, you're going to maybe even save your family's vacation or save your vacation with you and your wife. Because if you go down and you end up in an ER in Orlando, that is not going to help your vacation. It's going to mess up their mood, and at least one day. So I'm off to the side here at Hollywood Studios, pulling out my test kit. And, you know, I'll just do a test right now. And whenever I get the chance, which usually if you're in a party of people, whenever they need a break and they need to go to the bathroom, that's when you do it. Pace yourself. Okay, I've had a hard time with this. A hard time pacing myself. I mean, it wasn't too long ago when I was at the parks, I was the maniac in a hat like this, running through the people like some kamikaze driver. I've settled down just a little bit. Part of that, frankly, is just that I'm a local now, and it takes me about 25 minutes to get to the park. So, you know, I'm not in that desperation. When I was coming to the park like once a year, yeah, you're looking forward to it so much, and you're wanting to get on those rides and not have to wait too long. A lot more desperation. Doesn't matter whether you're a local like me, if you've never been here before and you're just trying to get the most for your money, try to pace yourself best that you can. You will have a much better time. Trust me. Bring high and low carb snacks. I usually carry a little backpack with stuff like camera gear and stuff in the park, and then I'll have a little fanny pack on, and the fanny pack will have snacks in it. So If I'm feeling like my blood sugar is going down a little bit, or I just tested it and it is going down, or I'm hungry and I need something, but I can't be carby because it's a little high, I open up my little fanny pack and grab whatever I'm gonna eat and eat it on the fly. So I'm ready to go. Especially if you're feeling woozy in the heat with low blood sugar, you want to be able to get to it fast. So you're not looking up at somebody while somebody else is trying to look at your orange ID bracelet.
Okay, so I'm at Hollywood Studios, and here's my little Mickey sack around my waist, and I've got high and low carb snacks. I've got 2 Nature Valleys bars in there, which is actually 4, 2 in each, and then a little bag of peanuts. So between that and knowing what low carb options are available in the park, and not being shy about pulling over to a corner and giving myself a shot of insulin, you basically got it. Now, I know the flow of Florida and the parks at this time of year. It's extremely hot, like 100-degree days in July. It's July 25th. So I didn't even get here until after the daily thunderstorm we always have. And I didn't even get here till like 5:45, and now the sun is starting to set a little bit, and of course it gets a little cooler, you know, once the rain comes through. But as that humidity and heat builds up, so let's have a snack. I just had a sandwich, so I'm gonna have some peanuts.
Investigate low-carb snacks in the parks. Before you go, you can look at the restaurants, the quick service restaurants. You can look at the stuff that's available in the food and wine booths, whatever time of year you're going. And you can get an idea of what kind of low carby type snacks are available. So if you plan it out and you know where the first aid stations are, you know where you can get water, and you know where you can get a couple of low carb snacks as you go around the world in Epcot. And on top of that, if you had a couple of snacks on you and you pace yourself and you know you're really on top of it. It doesn't take a lot. It seems a little overwhelming, just like anything new would seem overwhelming. But just like anything else, like when you first started your job, if you're still in your job after a while, you know, what seemed impossible at day 5, now that you've been there a few years, doesn't seem like a big deal at all. Well, if you're new to Disney, it might seem like a big deal, especially if you're diabetic and it's very hot and you see the types of crowds that are going to come with Galaxy's Edge and stuff. It can seem overwhelming. Take a breath. You can do this. This is your vacation. I know that it costs a lot of money, but try to have fun. You can do this. Number 8, please do me a favor. Me too. I'm included in this. Take your insulin before your meals. Okay, just test often, take your insulin before meals, and just try to be ahead of the curve. Don't let that Indiana Jones boulder come running down over you as you're trying to control your blood sugar. Try to stay ahead of the ball.
Okay, so I'm at the Backlot Express restaurant, and Star Tours is right over there. It's the restaurant right across the way. And I'm going to take my own advice and take my insulin before. I have one of these insulin coolers, these evaporative coolers. So and there we go.
Number 9, please do not take for granted the stress element. This is a once-in-a-lifetime vacation that costs a heck of a lot of money. and you're trying to keep your kids or your girlfriend or your wife or your significant other or whoever happy and have a good time in the most magical place on earth, rides break down, your blood sugar might make it so that you have a meal plan and you can't even eat half of the stuff that you've already paid for. Surf the situation as best you can and just be prepared. You're gonna have a great time, but there is a little bit of a stress element because you will be rushing around a little bit at times. Number 10, beware tempting food. I'm not really good with that, and it's irresponsible, and I never really have been, and I'm paying the price for it. I'm getting more brittle right now. So this is becoming more and more of an issue for me at the parks. Oh yeah, if you are having troubles with your blood sugars, you might want to avoid the deluxe meal plan. Counting carbs. If you're a newly diagnosed diabetic, you might not get this too much yet. If you've been a diabetic for a long time, you do. There are lots of books and publications out there. You can look stuff up real easily online. There are some good apps that you can download onto your phone. When you stop watching this, you can get onto your phone and download one of the apps that they have, and they are very easy to use and self-explanatory. Above all, please do me a favor, take care of yourself, be safe, stay healthy, and have fun.
See you real soon.
Why? Because we like you.